Hi, and welcome to episode 3. This is Kayrrie from KVR Studios teaching you about offset pivots. I created a little scene to save on time. Pretend that this is your floor, the plane. This is like one building, two building, another thing, trees, assets, whatever. This is a pretend scene just to teach you about the offset pivot and bringing in items so that they can land where you need them to land when you're working on your Blender scene. Now, this is just a mock-up, but at the same time, if you have a big Blender scene where there's trees in very specific areas, there's buildings in specific areas, like I do with one of my builds, where there's just anything you want, portraits in the future, anything, you have built it in a specific spot and you want it to come in exactly the same way. So what we need to do is go press N so that you can see your transform. We need to change this location. So I'm gonna click on each object, Control A, hit all transform. You have to do this for each one or it will not work. They will basically go to the middle of the map, which is fine too, and then you could do it by hand, but that defeats the purpose of the video. So hit Alt Transform on each of them. It's going to zero them out where they are standing. The plane already did. So then I'm going to highlight all the pieces. I'm not going to join them. If it was a scene where I wanted to join them, you can, but remember that your headset is rendering everything. If it's joined, it's going to see everything as one item. Just remember that. So I grab everything, I do not join it, and I will export it. So export FBX, go to your file, and I'm going to name it tutorial cubes because I was trying it out and I'm going to do 1.1. Get into the habit of doing 1.0, and as you save incrementals, it'll be 1.1, 1.2, or when you save future ones, you'll remember what was the last one. Click selected objects. I always do that when I only want specific items. I'll just stay in the habit of doing that, and then C forward, and then export. And then we're going to go to Horizon. See, I brought this in, but I'm going to show you. I was trying it out. I'm going to show you how to do it. So what you want to do is go to your folder, add 3D model, leave this on. So this is what we're talking about, offset pivots. You're taught the simplest thing to do is turn it off, import so you don't have this error. This is when you are a little further advanced with building and you want things to fall in where they belong, exactly how you built it. So if you're just bringing in regular assets from outside, fine, you could turn it off. But in this case, leave it on. Choose your file. I'm gonna pick my tutorial build. I did not put textures because it's not about the textures today, so it should load in even quicker. And then import. So leave your offset pivot thing on. That's what's gonna tell the items. That's how we're gonna direct the items. You're gonna get this little warning. That's fine. This is what you do want to see this because that means it was brought in together. So we have 6 pieces. So I'm gonna right click, place. You have to back up a little bit. Sometimes it usually does that. It's just best if you right click in place and then you just back up. And then we wait for it to load in. Okay, let's try it again, please. I did a shortcut. I had to get out and come back. Shrink this, back up, and there goes my scene. It looks like it's all put together, but I want it. Let's pretend that this. Oh, I did what I said not to do. Right click. Once it's highlighted and you place it, highlight it immediately. Parent-child objects. This allows you to grab each item. We'll pretend that this platform was already there. So let's put it where it was. Okay. So I'm pretending, oh, that was my plane, but now I brought these pieces in and I want them to go exactly where I had them. Click on each item and zero it out. You want to go to position, 0, 0, 0. Same thing with each item. I've gotten used to while I'm doing this, or I'm just like, like 0, 0, 0. Make sure it's completely 0. I didn't add textures, but I could add textures just for contrast, but that's okay. You're getting the point. And a cube. I think we have one more cube. And I think that was the whole thing. Did I not hit transform on this? I did hit 000, so what is happening? Let's troubleshoot. Okay, my triangle, for whatever reason, is zeroed out, but let's do it again. Sometimes you just gotta do it again. I'll just do all transforms, and I'm going to export this by itself and see if that changes it. So sometimes that's gonna happen, it's okay. I'll put 2 for the sake of simplicity. Everything else is the same, export, and let's go back. Yeah, I can put it there, but what if it's off center? You know, you just wanna kind of want to get used to it, get into the habit of bringing it. So we're going back here, 3D model, 2. It's good to do that. Okay, so this is a good test actually because we want to see how, okay, just place it. This one didn't have a warning because it's all by itself. If that warning comes when you have multiple meshes that are not grouped together. Okay, so let's see what happens if, there we go. That was a good test. I'm gonna spawn right here. That was a very good test. Now the contrast is still, everything looks the same pretty much. But they landed exactly where I wanted. So you may come across that issue sometimes where it's like, oh, it didn't work. If it's something that it doesn't need to be exactly where you wanted it to be, you can manually put it, that's fine. But this is perfect for when you're working on scenes and you're bringing in posters, you're bringing in frames, statues, whatever, trees that have to be in specific location, even lights, and now we know even collision walls and things like that. So leave that pivot on. Make sure that you all transform. Sometimes you just have to repeat the process for certain items. If this was texturized, I would have actually brought in the whole scene all together again so it could stay, so there's no repeat textures or whatever. But anyway, so keep your offset pivot on, and thank you for coming to KVR Studios tutorial 3. I hope that helps.